If you are trying to navigate exercise and you have a chronic health condition, or maybe you're in a certain phase of the female life cycle and you feel like you've tried everything that everyone has told you to do, but it just isn't working. Maybe it feels like exercise isn't invigorating like everyone talks about. Maybe it caused symptom flares for you. Maybe you're getting pain flares, or it just doesn't feel right. This video is for you. Unfortunately, this is a commonly shared feeling among many women. And this is because that most of the advice that they are hearing about is being given to them by people who do not understand the nuances of women's health. Maybe they don't understand hormonal changes, they don't understand pain physiology, pelvic health issues, or even the concepts of recovery for people that are not healthy and fit. The advice that you may have received is often applied as if all bodies respond in the same way. I'm Courtney, an exercise physiologist specializing in women's health, and this is something that I see nearly every time when I have a new client come into the clinic. In this video, I want to explain why this happens, what's missing from general exercise advice, and how changing how exercise is prescribed, not your level of effort or motivation, is often the key to moving forward without the constant stop-start cycle. Before we get started, if you don't know what exercise physiology is or how it applies to women's health, I spoke about this in last week's video. Highly recommend you check that out because I'm sure you will learn a lot. Now, I want to take you back to a time when I worked as a personal trainer in a gym. I worked mostly with women wanting to lose weight, tone up, and just generally feel better about themselves. As I began training my clients in a one-to-one capacity, I noticed two key things that were common in pretty much every client. The first one is that they were actually really motivated, especially when it came to attending personal training sessions, following their individual program that I would write for them outside of their one-on-one sessions. They showed up regularly, they followed the plan, they were consistent, and they prioritized their health. The second thing that I noticed was for the clients who had PCOS or insulin resistance, maybe they were postnatal, perimenopausal, maybe they had pain related to their menstrual cycle, they did not respond to the exercise programming the same way as any of the clients who didn't have any of those did. It was almost like the rules for programming to get muscle gain and weight loss didn't actually work for them. And it was really quite frustrating for me not being able to actually get results for them, but also for them because they felt like exercise didn't work for them or that it was their fault and they just weren't doing enough. I wasn't a fully qualified EP yet, but I was slowly building knowledge around women's health conditions and hormonal changes. As I grew to understand more about how hormones actually worked and how they impacted many different systems like weight loss pathways and muscle building pathways, I learned more about pain science, the role of inflammation in the body and changes to cortisol levels and the importance of recovery for actually getting results. Did I realize that the training I had as a personal trainer was nowhere near enough to support anyone who didn't fit the normal, healthy, functioning body label. The new rule that I had to apply was that any body that was trying to navigate hormonal changes or health conditions don't tolerate exercise programs like normal, and they need a lot more considerations in their programming for it to actually be effective. The person and their behavior around exercise isn't the problem, it's the programming. Unfortunately, this situation is extremely common. Women feel like they're doing all the right things. They're following the program, they're being consistent, they're following all of the advice to the T, maybe even a little bit too much, but it's not actually working. And it's because they are not being given the advice that is appropriate for them and their body. The problem is not exercise itself, it's the entry point at where they start exercising. It's how it's prescribed to them and how progression and tolerance is expected to look. General exercise advice assumes that everything is functioning in the body as normal and progression is linear and predictable. Complex bodies do not operate like this. There are often different hormonal fluctuations, varying levels of fatigue, exercise adaptations that aren't actually favorable for that person, and recovery is often different. These responses are often a signal from the body that the exercise program is not matching what the body's tolerance level is, and that programming actually needs to change. When an exercise program takes into consideration everything that is happening to you in your body, it should feel really supportive, effective, and sustainable over the long term. It feels like it's the right fit for you and stops feeling like it's not actually working, or puts you in this boom and bust cycle that you just can't get out of. Trust is often rebuilt in the body, confidence develops, and you can start understanding where exercise fits into your life and how it is actually supportive for you and your body rather than feeling the opposite. This process is only made possible when the person who is giving you the advice is trained, understands the nuances of the female body or complex health conditions, and can actually provide you with a program that is suitable for you, like an exercise physiologist. This channel exists to provide clarity on where exercise actually fits into your life. It isn't about general fitness advice or follow along videos. The problem is not exercise itself. It's the approach that you've been given by someone who doesn't know what's happening to you. In future videos, I'll be unpacking this from different angles, different health conditions, different phases of the female life cycle, and why some programs work and others maybe don't. If this resonated with you, stay tuned for more. I upload a video every week and we talk about exercise and women's health from a healthcare perspective and understanding how it fits into your life. You don't need to have it all figured out today. You just need to start understanding. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.